On this episode of Ruta's Garage, we're going to show you guys how to go from this all black, boring leather interior to this. So I just don't love all black leather interior. I think it's kind of boring, doesn't have much soul to it, no color, no pop, and doesn't fit my vibe, so to speak. So we're going to be dyeing this with
this leather kit. I got this from leatherdye.com. This kit comes with pretty much everything you need to change the color of your seats. You can pick up just about any color you want. I went with Audi Silver.
Now, when you're dyeing your leather seats, there's a bunch of different steps you need to take. You need to clean it, then you want to prep it for the paint, and then you're going to put the dye on, and then after that you're going to put kind of a clear coat to protect it a little bit. The first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and clean it up.
This is their dynamic clean. It's essentially just a strong leather cleaner that came with the kit. Just spray on and then use their brittle pad to agitate the surface a bit. Then go ahead and wipe clean and you should get some residue or dirt to come off. So this is arguably the most important part. Mask off all the areas where you don't want to receive paint.
If you go nice and easy, the tape is pliable enough, believe it or not, where you can stretch it just a little. You know what I'm saying, Brian?
Yeah.
Because Brandon, I was doing this with Dougie Folsom at his dad's body shop, and we'd go down there and get stoned, drink beers. They didn't have blue tape then, but they had the regular masking tape. You know, they had the big rolls with the paper and.
The more tedious you are with this process, the better it will turn out. We also used a trash bag to cover the rest of the seat.
So we got our trash bag laid down. Now what we're gonna do is put the leather adhesive promoter. It's basically like a primer. It's supposed to help the leather dye adhere to the actual leather. It should help it stick a little bit better, maybe help it pop. It doesn't actually come in the kit, but it is recommended. So we're gonna put it on just to make everything as good as it can be and see how it does.
For this step, apply the adhesive to the sponge they supplied and just wipe on.
All right, okay, so now the second to last step, painting this seat with leather dye. Now I can't stress enough how important it is to use a spray gun. The kit comes with a sponge and it really does not work that well, especially with this perforation. It just soaks in there, it doesn't give you a clean coat. And you can buy really cheap electric guns, spray guns, online for like $30 to $40, and it makes all the difference in the world.
This gun I got on Amazon, and I'll put a link below. Then go ahead, give it a rip. There is a trick to this. You want to do a smooth, even spray from left to right. Keep in mind, I don't really know what I'm doing here, so you'll have to play with it a bit, but it's not too hard to get the hang of it. Key is to keep the gun moving and to not stay in an area for too long. To really help speed up the process, I use this heat gun purchased from Harbor Freight. It made it so much faster, particularly when helping these perforated holes dry up. Now you're going to do the dance of applying paint and then heat, paint, heat. I ended up doing about 5 to 6 coats.
Okay, party peeps, so now we are doing what will be hopefully the last coat of paint. And this is where it gets tricky because it's hard to tell with this gun actually how much is coming out. And sometimes you'll sit on an area for too long and you can't tell that you're spraying paint and it'll start to lump up, starts to look cheap, you know, like you spilt paint almost. So the key with this is you want to do the least amount of coats possible, because it is, after all, paint, and it will peel and it will pull up and it won't look good. But you also want to have a nice clean line across of the color. If you can see here, there's still a little bit of black in certain areas. So I'm hoping I can get it all with this last spray. Wish me luck. Just dry, and then I'm gonna let it sit. Come back in a minute, watch some football, and see how it does. You can actually see here, it's just starting to pool as I touch it and screw it up. So there's just a little bit too much paint right there. Just a hair. Other than that, it looks pretty great. Okay, now we're on the last step, which is applying the leather protectant. It's kind of like a sealer. It just kind of protects the leather and the dye so it doesn't scratch, rip, or kind of get brittle while it's going through the elements. Before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and take all the tape off and then just apply this protectant to the entire leather chair.
To really work the sealant in these dry leather seats, we just applied it by hand. You can do it with a rag or however you wish. And that's it. Gotta say, seats came out killer. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.